In this video, we are going to create a very common material. It can be seen as very common and simple matte finish plastic or matte finish rubber. Okay, so let's get started. As you can see here, we already have a model built. Everything is included. Right now we're under the shading tab. Now we're kind of missing a HDRI for a temporary lighting. Then we need to click the background node and Control T to add a environment textures, and right now we're gonna open then we're gonna load in a HDRI. And once this has been loaded in, so we can actually just enable the render view on the left hand side, and we can even temporarily close this side or combine them together. So go here, right click and join areas. I'm just gonna making sure that these two areas are gonna be joined together. Okay. So sometimes like that, you probably just need to kind of move things around a little bit in order to let this really working. Yeah, see, now it's working. So now we can see in a much bigger view of here. Of course, if you have a second monitor, that'd be perfect. We're gonna go to the render setting and making sure we check the transparent, and then we can see, oh, okay, this is what's going on here. And apparently this model has been creating in different 3D software. If I go to tab, edit mode, you will see this is not looking very even. It is not consistent with quads. So I assuming this one was made in the SolidWorks or software like that. But this is what we actually going to facing quite a bit. It's not really have good quads or topology for this, but that's fine because the material we're going to build doesn't really need too much work on the UV side, so it's kind of generic material, so that's a good news. So what we need to do here, tap things out. We're just going to kind of get parts one by one. Okay, so of course we're going to start with the body, so we're going to select the main body and click new, and I just say plastic, or it can a black plastic. Okay, and then if we go to the principal BSDF, what we can do, we can just change the base color to a kind of a black color, and pay attention on this. As you can see here on the left hand side, the color has changed, and in the certain lighting that within the HDR lighting that we have, it is a black color, but it doesn't mean you have to drag all the way to down there to make sure it's pure black. No, sometimes in the real life it's not really a pure black. It's kind of like darker gray, so we can just kind of manipulate and put in there. And also pay attention, we are using a temporary lighting solutions for our texturing. We are going to do something later on when we do the final lighting, but this is just much easier for us to getting started. Okay, so far it looks pretty good, right? And then we can change the roughness going on here. We can kind of really zoom in to see some details over here. Okay, so we can change the roughness going on here. I think it's relatively rough, but it's still a kind of plasticky type of feeling, so it should be fine over here. And another thing you might start noticing this, well, if you have actual a SD card in your hand, you can take a look at it, especially in the back hand over here. It has quite a bit of texture on it. It's not really that smooth. It doesn't really matter how much roughness I put it on. It's still having kind of like a roughness bumps on here. So we need to have a bump texture on there. And you may heard about this type of a map. It's called surface imperfection. When people are talking about surface imperfection, they're talking about some like fingerprint, some scratches and stuff like that, to kind of really minor to put on the and put on these type of details on the surface of 3D model to really trigger the realistic look. For our purpose, especially we are doing this for product rendering or image rendering for a product, we really don't want adding this type of details onto our model, onto our render, because it is counterproductive. Think about that. A lot of time photographers spending time to photographing a product, and then need also spend hours to retouching the surface to make it look nice and clean and unified. And if we do all that, it just doesn't look really professional. It looks unfinished for product photography or product render. So what we need to do here, we still need to adding some details for the surface. So what we need to do here, we are going to manually creating some bump nodes and adding some details through procedural nodes. Okay, so what we need to do here, come back here, we can go control and hit the 1, then we're gonna go to the back side view so we can see something going on here, and then go back to the here, and then we need a shift A to adding a noise texture. And I told you this is my favorite procedural texture inside Blender, so you'll see how it works. So, and also we needed having a bump node in order to really having the effect. So shift A, adding a bump node. And then remember, bump node or bump map is black and white. So what we need to do here, we just need to hook this color to the height, and then hook this normal to the normal, and then we can have this. So as you can see here, we have something going on here, and certainly you will see this is kind of some level of details, but it doesn't look very good as we intended to do. We want to have like more unified and definitely more smaller kind of like details in here. So what we can do here, we're gonna hold Control and Shift, click this texture node, and then you will see, oh, we have a black and white image preview. So because we have node wrangler add-on enabled, so when you holding Control and Shift and click certain node, you will be able to have a quick preview or viewer node to see what's going on here. So then that's much easier for us. Just we can dial the details about this noise texture that we want to create. If I'm going to just drag this scale, so you can see here, the more I dragging, the smaller the detail is going to be, right? So basically what we want, just kind of like have some tiny details where black and white, having a sense of a roughness going on here, and this is what we need to do. And the roughness, you can change that whatever. It doesn't really make a whole lot matter because this is very small details, and you can do distortion as well. So far I don't think we want adding any distortion, and this is just kind of level a small details we can do. We can even just do 250. How about that? Yeah, I think it's fine. You can just do whatever you want to do and to getting that level of detail. But if you go looking closely here, you can see here, this is what we want. And on the edge, there has some certain stretch on it. And it doesn't look very uniformed. And it looks very weird, okay? You see? This is very common issues when we're using a model that is not consistent with quad. It doesn't have good topology. So when you're creating a textures, by default, it's all actually going to generating a UV map. And it doesn't mean the UV map is going to be good, but it's just going to use as UV map as a image texture input here. So what we need to do here, we need to click the noise texture and Control T to adding a map and the texture coordinator node. So this way we can see, oh, so now things kind of a little bit different. We have a default setting we can have is to generate it, and then we can, if we change this one to object, watch what's happening, and everything looks much better and refined and has more details in here. So in this way, you don't need to waste a lot of hustle to really kind of getting fixed for the stretch or the UV map. We can just simply do that to put object in here. So that's a quick fix. And then next we can even just kind of go back to dial the scale. So if 250 is too much, so we can actually dial it down, maybe do 200, right? And now, so we can have some details and level in here. Okay, so that makes sense. Yes. So having that type of details added in is actually getting pretty good result by now. Okay, so I'm actually want to see if I can do 150. Yes, more defined, right? Yes, cool. So I think we can just go with that 150 and having this. And next thing we will need to do here, we're just going to click this Principal BSDF while you're holding Control and Shift, and now we can have that. And if we rotate things around, you can see we have added a minor level of roughness going on here. You can see there, if I'm kind of in here, examining the details go here. Yeah, see, that's the detail we have added in with this bump node. So if I'm kind of control click off, it doesn't have that, see? And then we can just to hold alt, right click, and connect that. And if you really don't like this kind of effect too much or too subtle, you can really just changing the strength accordingly. You see, you can do that. Another thing you can also do, because it's plastic, sometimes plastic doesn't always have the matte finish, so you can basically just change the roughness accordingly, or even you can just using the same nodes, textures, and it actually plug in here, so it adding a different level of roughness control with according to your roughness. So that's all your call, and all based on your products and the fact that you want to achieve. So that's your judgment call, okay? But I want providing your options to let you know this is possible to do that, okay? So cool. So we have the main bodies being textured properly with a matte plastic, and then we can go to the next one on the side. So we just select this one. Okay, this is the lock. Usually it's coming with a little bit lighter gray. What we can do here, we can creating a new one, or we can just using another one. If I click the black plastic, and now you can see the number 2, and I want just change the different color, we can use a similar material. So what I would do, I'm just going to click this number, and now it's become black plastic 001. Then I can just rename that. I can just say lock, and it should be fine. Okay, cool. And then I don't, for the tiny bit kind of plastic side, I really don't need a whole lot of details, so I can just kind of drag this thing down, and I can just delete this part. And then what we need to do, we just need to change color, put it up a little bit, like that gray looks just fine to me. I think that looks good. And then next thing we need to do here, we are going to go to the back side of this chips, and then we are going to adding a metal, and you know how to do metal, so I'm just going to adding one metal chip. First thing we need to do, making sure the metallics go all the way to 1, and then we're gonna change the color to kind of like a yellowish gold type of stuff. We can just do that. Okay, looks nice. And then roughness, of course, we're gonna dive down, but it depends on how you want to make this. If you really dive too sharp, it's actually going to reflecting quite a bit of things in the HDRI. So I think, and also based on my observation, the actual chip is not that smooth or reflective. It actually has a kind of a matte finish. Well, when you've been using these chips for a little bit while, certain parts get polished or scratched because when you put it into the computer or cameras, it's actually kind of creating that stretch. But for product renders, I'm just gonna stay with this kind of like a finished coating. And for us, we really don't need to spend any time to really creating the realistic scratch on this for product renders, because that's the level of detail that's not supposed to come out with the actual brand new product. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Of course, if you want to change the IOR based on certain materials, you can do so, but I'm not gonna do that over here. So we're getting done here. And then right that last one for this is just going to be the label, and we're gonna click that label. And next, we are going to load in a image textures. I'm hoping by now you feel very comfortable to kind of creating the texture on your own and also familiar with the process. We're gonna do Shift A to search image texture, and then we are going to connect this color to this base color and open the image texture, and just select this logo and hit open image. The reason it's actually get really perfectly lined up is because if you go to the UV editing tab, this has been UV unwrapped, and apparently looks pretty good compared to the image we're doing. So you can just hit S to kind of scale up and down. You still can do some minor adjustment with this. And of course, because this is not really a finished a good topology, but is good news about this is very simple, flat, one surface of a mesh over here. So we don't need to spend too much time to really kind of doing the UV we don't need to spend a lot of time doing the mark scene or everything. It's just one single image layer, so we can do that. So let's go back to the shading tab. So now you can see we got something going on here. Usually after we're loading a image textures, sometimes it's not only representing by the image, it also has kind of like a material feeling into it. So what we need to do here, we just need to rotate the model and to see the lighting reflections. Feels like usually when I see the label for this SD card, usually it's kind of reflective. So I'm actually just gonna drag down the roughness down, so you can see it has kind of like a reflective feeling. Or you can even just adding a clear coat on the top of it. You can just making that, see, that just feels like a very thin layer of plastic, a kind of like finish. You can do this type of thing, but it's going to reflecting something from the HDRI. Of course, you are going to use different HDRI when you're doing rendering in the final, but so far this is what we wanted to do here. And another thing we can do here is we're adding another node between the image and the principal BSDF to getting the color out a little bit. So Shift A, adding a gamma, and we're just gonna drop the thing in here. And after I drop in, it doesn't seem a whole lot of changes, and we can even just dial this one to a different color, whatever. You can change something like this, and usually according to what this node means, it actually is converting the color to standard color formats. But sometimes I just gonna do a 1.5 to getting a little bit of saturation out of it. But I think that works well for my workflow sometimes, but that's just one thing that you can definitely try. If I go back to here, I can do another thing, a node to adjusting the image texture. So Shift A to hue and saturation. So you can just drop the thing in here. So you can even just getting the saturations kind of bump up a little bit if you need it. You see, if you want a black and white, you can do so. In this way, I just want to let you guys know that the image texture, when you load in here, it doesn't have to be just like that color. You can do some manipulation. You see, if you have a different version of SD card label, you can do so. Simply just change the color of that. But this is just option that you can definitely do when you actually using a simple image texture. Okay, so far this is looking pretty good, and of course when you're adjusting the lighting scenarios, you will be able to finding the good angle of this, and also you can just kind of simply rotate it and do any kind of fancy position for this model. But this is everything I want to share in this video, and I will see you in the next one.